Yeah, it was crazy. I had a few like freak accidents that almost ended our lives. So I was attacked and stabbed. My self-image kind of changed. I thought that this could never happen to me. You need to decide if you want to live your life or if you want to live like in the past.
Hello. Today we're chatting with Fredrik. All we know about him so far is that he is a paramedic. He has a cabin in Husel, and when he's not working, you can find him out in nature with his dog. That's all we know so far, but we'll be getting to know him better today together with you.
I had a few like freak accidents, and when I was in my 30s, I thought that I won't see 40. I think I will probably die before 40 because the way things were, I was 10 years old and was playing in the woods and found a tree house. I was very curious, why is there a tree house there? And I didn't know about it, so I found a ladder and climbed up, and it was kind of boarded up. So it was a small hole in the roof, and I pried myself down in the tree house, and it was boarded up because it was full of wasps. So it was full of wasp nests. And I kind of tore them, and there was wasps everywhere, and they were stinging me, and I was screaming, and they went in my mouth and stinging me.
What?
And I realized that if I don't close my mouth and get out of here, I will die. So I closed my eyes, my mouth, and I was slowly prying myself out of this small hole that I had pried myself into. And when I got out, I started screaming. And my mother and father was close by, and they came into the woods and found me like with lumps all over my body. And my mother is a nurse. She started counting the amount of stings, and when she started up and worked herself down, and when she got to my collarbone, she had counted 21.
Holy shit.
And my entire body was left to count, so she said to my father, putting him in the car, we were going to the
Because
hospital.
that can put you in shock as well, no? Or not?
Yeah. If I had any allergy or anything, I would have died.
That's insane. And is this why you became a nurse? Or
No.
To save yourself?
Yeah, maybe. No, I think I became a nurse because I like to experience things. And so I was kind of thinking, should I join the military, the police service, or the ambulance service? And I thought that military and police was kind of cool. And that was maybe that was what I really wanted. But the nurse was quite easy. It was very available for me right then. The military didn't hire at the time.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure of the police because I like to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that maybe working with ambulance, it's more like I get more positive feedback than being a police officer. Because when I come to you when you're injured or sick, you're really happy to see me.
Yeah.
But if I come to you and I'm going to arrest you
that's
because you're breaking the law, you're not as happy to see me. So that's why I chose the medical path.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was wondering, where did you grow up in? Did you grow up around here in Åre, or did you grow up in?
No, I'm from Uppsala, which is a city just north of Stockholm.
Yeah.
It's like 600 kilometers from here.
Okay.
Actually, a place I know, because normally when people say a place in Sweden, I have no idea where it is.
But you know where it is?
This one I know.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've passed it a couple of times as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice town. It's like the fourth largest city in Sweden. and it's a bit more than 800 years old as a city. And before that, it was the place where the Vikings came to worship their gods.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
it has great history.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and you grew up there your whole youth? That's where you stayed?
Yeah. I was born there, and I've been living there for almost my entire life so far. I came here for it'll be 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So up to then you lived there,
Yeah.
and you had a family, you said, so you raised your kids there.
Yeah, I grew up there, and after the military service, I studied at the university. There's a great university with, they are, in some fields, they are world leading the scientists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great university. And I started to become a nurse, and I started working at the hospital in Uppsala, which also is a fantastic hospital. And on the ER, I met my wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
She was working or she was a patient?
she was working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, you never know.
No.
It's like, what's going on, you beautiful lady?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, she was working.
And what was her job there?
She was a nurse as well.
Nurse as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
What a romantic story.
yeah, it is. Maybe it doesn't sound really romantic, but it was.
I watched a lot of ER shows,
Yeah.
so I can totally see this happening. The Grey's Anatomy of Uppsala.
Yeah. Well, actually, at that time, the ER was on the air in Sweden. You know, the George Clooney.
Yeah.
And I usually watched it and kind of try to find out what it was, what's wrong with the patient before they did, and sometimes you managed to. And then I started thinking, but it's a TV show, so it's kind of exaggerated. But actually, I think I met almost the same kind of patients that was in the show in real life.
Really?
Though not that often that they did.
Okay.
So it's, in a way, it's quite accurate. But of course, it's a lot more sped up, and I think that the way they work is not how we do it, but I think some of it is quite accurate.
They have a bit more drama. But,
a bit more drama. Although I met my wife there, and we had a really great life in Uppsala.
Yeah.
So we started at the ambulance service, both of us.
Okay.
But on different stations, and I started working in Stockholm and the cities around, because I wanted a little bit more drama, I think, or I'm quite adventurous, so I like to have that kind of challenges.
Yeah.
And but we started making babies. And after a few of them, it got kind of difficult to have the.
It sounds like you made a lot of babies if you say that.
We have 4 kids.
Okay.
So,
that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of quite a lot. It is. But it got difficult to be doing the night shift and working weekends and days and nights.
Yeah,
and
I can imagine.
Yeah, so both of us started doing office jobs. So we got
still in the hospital then, or?
Yeah, I was head of the ambulance service in the northern part of Uppsala, the region of Uppsala. And Tina, she studied to become an anesthetic nurse and worked inside the hospital, and then she started doing. She got the head of some wards in the hospital. Yeah. So we both started working as like leaders, or
And then somehow you ended up here. So what was that story?
Yeah, well, the winters in Uppsala, they really suck. They are horrible.
I thought it was known for like ice skating and those kind of things, or is that only certain periods?
No. Yeah, It's okay with ice skating, though you need to have a cold period for a long for quite some time to have good ice. And in Uppsala, it's kind of cold and warm, and then it rains, and then it snows, and then it gets warm again and cold. So the ice is in the early winter when the ice, when the lakes freezes. It's great. It's perfect.
Okay,
but so it's not for so long. You can go ice skating, but it's not like you can go skiing here.
Yeah,
it's more like you ice skate here. It's a quite short period of time.
So you already liked skiing back then, and you thought, how do I do more of that?
Yeah. We used to go up here skiing during the winter.
Okay.
As a family, I guess.
Yeah. From when I met Tina, we started going here and to other places in the Swedish and Norwegian mountains.
Yeah, okay.
And
so you changed it up. You didn't always go to Åre.
No. We went to Trysil and Idre.
Yeah.
We changed it, and we always thought that maybe sometime we should have our own place up in the mountains.
Without moving here, you mean, like a holiday home?
Yeah, without moving, or maybe without moving, but maybe we could move when we get older.
Yeah, okay.
Or old, maybe. So we came here every winter.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we started to get a bit older, and we had some incidents that almost ended our lives.
Okay.
Yeah, so not at the same time, but different times.
Do you want to elaborate on that, or is it a private thing? Or
no, it's okay. It's okay. This is some 20 years ago. I was attacked and stabbed.
Yeah,
and lost a finger, and I had some other injuries, and that was really close.
That was in Uppsala.
Yeah, it was in Uppsala.
How did that happen, or how did that happen, or what?
It was a freak accident. They were a freak accident. They didn't caught the guy that did it, so they never caught him, and I don't know who it was.
So it was in the dark. You didn't see.
Yeah, it was very early in the morning, and he just jumped up from behind the tree. And
while you were working, or you were just?
No, I wasn't working. I was
okay.
I was out for a morning walk before I went to the work.
Yeah.
So I was not directly on my way to work, but
no. Okay. Yeah.
I was out walking in the neighborhood where I lived, and there is a mental hospital there, and they think that maybe it was someone that had been there or was going there with mental problems that did this. Maybe not.
So he attacked you, ran away, did a couple of steps, or did it take a while? I'm trying to figure out how it was.
Do you
remember anything, actually?
Yeah, it was like this. I noticed that someone was jumping up. So I got kind of scared and took a few steps. And then I don't have any memories. But as far as I know, he must have hit me in the middle of the street. And I somehow got up and started climbing up a steep hill into the woods. And he caught me there, and
so he chased you.
He chased me, I guess. And when my first memory after the jump up scare is that he's sitting on my back. I'm lying flat on my stomach on the ground, and he's somehow stabbing me
in multiple places, or
well. I had a few cuts in my face, and I had some lacerations in my skin, like he had tried to grab my hair and cut my throat like that. So I had some cuts in my cheek. And so.
So you can be in one of those doctor series because this is enough drama to put you into the George Clooney mode.
Yeah, it was.
Feels like it's an episode of a show.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't caught him, and that was kind of hard for me.
Okay.
On the other hand, I don't know what he looks like.
Yeah.
So I couldn't ID him, and that was kind of good because I didn't look for him.
Did you go to therapy or anything to kind of solve this?
Yeah, I did. I had to because through my work, they sent me there from my workplace. I was at the ER then, and I met with this therapist, and I told the story, and she started crying. So I just saw her 2 times.
You felt she wasn't strong enough, or what?
I don't think that was her field.
Yeah, okay.
Taking care of that kind of trauma. I think she was more like taking care of people that had severe illness or something.
It's different.
So I wouldn't blame her for it. But it was, I was really damaged by that.
It must be insane. What's your age at that point? You had kids already? Yeah. Or?
Yeah, we had our oldest. We had him. I had my self-image kind of changed. I thought that this could never happen to me. I'm a strong person. I could fight anyone off. And
suddenly reality changes.
Yeah, actually, very much so. Yeah. And that was kind of difficult. And I was investigated by the police because they thought that I had done something to deserve that, and that maybe I had I was owing someone money, or I was doing something illegal, and
you get all of that also.
Yeah, so they investigated me more than they looked for the perpetrator.
Really?
So that was actually the worst, because I thought that could never happen to me. Though they, after a few weeks, they kind of came back to me and said, "We're sorry about this, but we understand that you had nothing to do with it." And
that's good. But by then you were already flying out up north, or not?
No. This was kind of a long time ago.
Okay.
So but I struggled with it for a year, I think, and I have a day when this happened that I kind of celebrate every year. But it's not a nice celebration. I feel really bad that week, and then when it's done, I feel better. So.
Have you thought about the therapy that you did? Because I think it's an interesting thing.
Have you heard of EMDR therapy?
No.
It's quite interesting, and also a bit crazy, but it really works. Our dog came under the train near here, and I was standing there, and I couldn't grab him on time. It just happened in front of my eyes. So that was quite traumatic in some way. I can tell you about it now without crying, but that took a while.
Yeah.
And then this year, I still had a hard time in the car when Tim would be driving and I wasn't in control, and it definitely had to do with speed, that I would get really stressed, like crying from the stress of cars coming my way and me not being behind the steering wheel, and it got worse and worse. And then somebody recommended me to get EMDR, which is a bit like hypnotherapy in some way. You're doing movements. So I had to step kind of in a circle with my feet and then tap with my hands. And I had to count numbers backwards while thinking about the moment it happened.
Sounds like
so it kind of change your memory.
Hypnosis.
Yeah, in some way. And at the same time, the therapist is moving her finger.
Yeah.
So you're changing the memory, and it can change the image you have of the memory, or it can change the color or the smell or anything.
Yeah.
In my case, anytime I thought of the moment that happened, I would see everything happen, like the train coming and our dog, and the intensity, like it happened through my eyes every time. I saw it, like I was there. Whereas now I see it from a distance, and it's a very calm moment, and everything kind of stops in time. So it kind of changed the perspective I have of the moment. So it definitely worked for me. It's cool.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has the the power to change a memory to something more acceptable, I guess, in a way. Or I think another guy told me that he had an issue with the birth of his daughter, and it was all a very like gray image, like very sad image. But after this therapy, it became more of a colorful. Everything became more in colors, like the memory of it. So he could, I don't know, put more like a positive feeling towards that situation, however hard it was. But so maybe I was thinking about that when you were talking about your situation. So,
yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that bad about it now.
No,
it's just that week.
Yeah,
can be a bit. I can be a bit sad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm fine with it, and I'm very happy that it ended that as it did.
Yeah,
and it's an experience that I wouldn't want to be without, because
it made you who you are.
Yeah, in a way it does.
Yeah.
And you also said your wife had something similar at that same time?
Yeah,
or?
well, not really similar. She we love doing sports, and in my mid-40s, I discovered triathlon. So and triathlon is great because I'm not the best athlete, so you don't have to be the best swimmer or the best cyclist or the best runner to be a quite good triathlete. So it was perfect for me because I don't suck at anything, so I can be.
That's cool.
Well, quite successful.
Yeah.
Not I won't win any races. So we did the triathlon training, and Tina's also good at it. She's actually better than I am. She qualified for the World Championship on Hawaii last year.
Oh, yeah, Ironman.
Ironman. Yeah. So she's better than I am because I haven't done that. Though.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I'm faster than her. I do maybe 1 or 2 hours faster. But anyway, she was out with her friends swimming. It was quite early in the summer, so the water was kind of cold, and she was stressed to get there. And when she got out she was driving in her wetsuit, and it's kind of tight. So when she jumped into water, she felt that there's something wrong with my breathing. She started swimming, and the other ones just swam past her, and she couldn't really. She didn't understand why she wasn't swimming as fast as them.
Yeah.
And after a few 100 meters, she felt that she was kind of starting to cough, and she was kind of drowning from inside. So she developed something that's called CP. It's swimming-induced pulmonary edema. Yeah, it's life-threatening if you don't get out of the water.
So your lungs start.
Yeah, the lungs starts filling with the body fluid.
Oh yeah.
And then you can't breathe.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So she understood that she was in really grave danger, and she stopped swimming and held on to one of the buoys. And her friend, he turned around because he thought it was strange that she wasn't keeping up with him, and he was maybe 80 meters out from her. And he understood that she was having problems.
Yeah.
She couldn't shout, she couldn't do anything. She was just lying there trying to breathe. And he got to her and took her with him.
Yeah.
And swam her to shore, and they called the ambulance. And
so it was right on time, or it shouldn't have lasted longer, I guess.
That was a really close call. Yeah.
Because then they have to make like a hole here, not to put the air.
No, they don't. You put a positive air pressure.
Okay.
So you have to breathe with a positive pressure.
Yeah.
It does push the fluids out
the
of the
side.
lungs
Okay.
back into the body.
Oh, that's
you can say.
possible. Kind of just.
Yeah, it
pushing
is. It's
Wow.
it takes quite a lot of time, and
Yeah.
you can give medications to have that speed up the process. And it's quite common with people with heart failure that
Okay.
this happens.
Yeah.
And a few percentage of the swimmers that swim in cold water with wetsuits get this.
And
Really?
why?
I
Can you
never heard of this.
explain
No,
why?
no, it's not very. They don't know why.
They don't know why,
No,
okay.
no.
So I guess those two events made you both realize something, that you wanted to move here, or because you were talking about that before?
Yeah, that's a part of it, of
Yeah.
course. But I guess there are more stories, and I won't tell them because it's a short program. But I think for me mainly it's I wanted to move here because I'm a Ragnar
Yeah.
type of person.
Yeah.
Ragnar, what do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
Ragnar, it's
Viking, I would say. No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
I'm
was a
curious.
Viking that was called
He was-
Ragnar.
yeah,
I'm-
exactly.
Now I'm
Yeah.
flattered. No, I'm not a Viking like that. No, Ragnar. When I was growing up, I'm born in the 70s, so I'm like in my mid 50s now.
Mhm.
And there was a TV show for kids,
Okay.
a cartoon in Swedish television about a grown-up man, Ragnar, and he was working in his office and thinking about how it would be to be like 12 or 10 or 7 years old. And he wouldn't sit in his office. He would be out playing with his friends and cycling and climbing trees. And he is the man, the grown-up man who doesn't want to be an adult. And I guess
The Peter Pan of the world, forever young.
yeah, and I guess I'm like him.
Okay.
I know that when I saw him, I felt like him, even though I was a kid.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about that show for my entire life, and I guess there's a lot of Ragnars in Åre.
A playground
That's-
for the
the
adults. they
Ragnars,
say.
Yeah,
That's a really
yeah,
cool,
The adults who don't want to grow up.
That's a nice way to see it.
I think
Nice.
you're gonna find some Ragnars in this couch.
Definitely.
Should rename it the Ragnar couch.
yeah. So I guess it's both that you experience life and realize that it will end
Yeah.
eventually, and also that it's something that I wanted to do for a long time.
But why Åre then, and not Trysil or Idre or
Yeah, well,
another place?
I guess it's a bit of a coincidence, but Åre is it's a good place to be because we have our house in Uppsala.
Okay.
We still have it.
Mm-hmm.
We rent it out, but I have my parents in Uppsala and my family with my brothers and their families. So I like to visit there, and it's easy to get from Åre to Uppsala by train. Åre has a very good infrastructure. It's a small village, but you can live here.
Mm-hmm.
There's everything you need here.
Mm.
If you don't need to go to theaters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a very good place to be, and it offers a lot of nice things the year round. So we were looking at Åre quite early, before Tina got her long history.
Does she still have an issue with that? Or
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
It was that time, and she thought that, okay, this is it for me. Now I'm going to die, but she didn't. And then she thought that, well, I can't do triathlon anymore, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. And she was sad about that. So she went to see a therapist just a few times, and he was a specialist in survivors of different types of trauma,
Okay, interesting.
like plane crashes
Yeah.
Okay.
and war trauma and like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he kind of met with her and spoke to her, and she explained her situation and how she thought about it. And then he said more like, you have all the tools you need, but you need to decide if you want to live your life or if you want to live like in the past.
Yeah.
If you want to move forward or if you want to stay where you are. So you have to decide that. I can't help you with the other stuff. You're going to be fine with that.
Yeah.
So we went down to and watched an Ironman event. The same year actually, and she felt that I really want to do this.
Okay.
So we started training again, and she got my wetsuit because it's larger, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she didn't get it back, this Sipo.
Okay.
So she started training, and she somehow got over it mentally, and now she's doing triathlons again.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really strong. It's a really amazing
She sounds very
woman.
badass.
Yeah. Should invite her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Definitely.
Cool. So we're still not touching on when you actually move here. So
No.
we got through the stories,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there was a moment, I guess, that you decided.
It always is a moment. I think it was a kind of a midlife crisis, probably.
Because you had a good life, I guess. in
Yeah, we
Uppsala.
had a great life.
Yeah.
It's great. Uppsala is a fantastic place to live. And we had a nice house in a nice part of town, and the kids were going to school close to our home. And Uppsala is a very good place to be with if you're a triathlete, because it has perfect roads around the city, small countryside roads with kind of flat landscape, and you have lots of small lakes you can swim in, and it's a really great place to be if you're doing that triathlon stuff. So we really liked it, but we thought that maybe we should have a place up here for the winter. And I was like checking out the maps and found a place that isn't in Åre, because Åre is kind of expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to put too much money in.
Yeah.
And we found a small village outside of Åre, on the other side, on the north side of Åreskutan.
Husel, right?
Husel, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we visited Husel and really liked it at once. It's an old mining village, and there is nothing of the fast pace that you can find in Åre, at least in the wintertime. So really nice place to be. And eventually it turned out that it was a cabin for sale. And we watched the pictures on the internet, and it looked really awful. It didn't have any views or anything.
Okay.
And I watched at the map. So I like maps, and I thought that it should be beautiful.
Okay, it has potential.
It should be. It should be in a great spot. So we went there, and it turned out that it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. It's a beautiful place, and you have a view of the Kallsjön, and you can see the Åreskutan and everything. So, and it's very the mountain is very easy to get to from Husel.
Yeah.
And you don't have all the tourists all the time and all that. And you can go with your snowmobile quite easily, it's kind of difficult on this side.
Yeah.
So you bought it?
We bought it.
Yeah.
It was a very, very small cabin. We had it just to be here for skiing.
Yeah.
And in the summer. And it turned out that we went here as often as we could, all year round. So we understood
really
that maybe
it.
we shouldn't wait till we get old.
This episode is sponsored by Clean Grit. Clean Grit is a biodegradable plant-based product from Jämtland. It's to clean your bike. It cleans all the grit, but it keeps the planet healthy and is good for the environment. It doesn't use any harmful chemicals, and you will definitely have a spotless bike. We have some good news for all our subscribers. You can win a package full of all the goodies that will clean your bike, like this one, the Mighty Degreaser. So if you haven't subscribed yet, then subscribe, please, and check out more information in the captions below.
I was working with crisis management in the region of Uppsala for the healthcare system, and making plans for how we should respond to crisis in the healthcare system, and I was educating leaders in how to work in staff with crisis management, and it was fun in a way, but it was very like you're making plans for something that might never happen, and it really doesn't suit me. I need more direct feedback.
Yeah, just things happening constantly.
It's a bit too far away from your bed show, kind of the idea, right?
I'm a Ragnar. So I want things to happen. I want to have things in my hands that I need to do, and I really like to be in the ambulance service because then I get that feedback.
Yeah, I can imagine stuff is happening.
I mean, that's far away from the actual ambulance.
Yeah, it is. It's very far away. Though it's in the same kind of.
But it's the paperwork and the
it is.
the logistics and the talking.
You were working with nice clothes. So I was kind of bored, and being in my office thinking about Ragnar, and having all these thoughts that now I'm close to 50. How long will I be able to do this? Be out in the field and taking care of patients and experiencing exciting things. And how long will my body be functioning? You don't know how many days you get.
Can I ask how old you are now?
I'm turning 54 now.
No, he looks very young for the listeners who can't see him. And healthy.
Very healthy.
Yeah, I'm quite healthy. I am. So I'm very grateful for that.
So then you moved 4 years ago around.
Yeah, we did. It was actually I had a great job, and but I was kind of bored. Though then the COVID hit the world, and from making plans and educating, I ended up being chief of staff for the region of Uppsala in the COVID crisis management.
Okay.
So all this planning and thinking became very hands-on. So it was great. I had really it was difficult and very serious, and the people were dying, and before that I didn't have too much confidence that the healthcare system would manage a large crisis, at least not over time.
Okay.
But we did, and we did a really good job. So it was very, very nice to be in that situation. So
talking about we, is that just the region of Uppsala, or we or Sweden?
I was in Uppsala. So, but the entire nation was really struggling, and was really the healthcare system really had to change a lot of how they did things, and they did in the whole country. So I guess it wasn't just Uppsala.
Okay,
but it was really nice to be in that, have that experience from planning and being bored to being in the middle of it and doing it, and seeing that the plans that were made and the way we thought that we should do things in a crisis actually worked. So that was nice. I have a lot more confidence that we could manage more difficult crises.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. So there is a good thing that came out of COVID in that sense, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. But I was working with it for 3 months, but then we had already decided that we should try and move up here. And so I had 3 months of fun that ended my stay in Uppsala and with that kind of job, and I got up here and start working in the ambulance service.
So it was during COVID that you moved up?
Yeah.
Ah.
And what age were the kids then?
Huh?
What age were the kids?
Our oldest, he was like 20, so he was moving out.
Okay.
Building his own life. And then we had 3 kids that were in Duvedskola.
Yeah.
So, and now the oldest of the 3 is in Östersund.
Okay.
And the youngest is actually in Uppsala right now.
Okay.
Because he's a soccer player, and this is not the best place to be for playing soccer. You
With
need
the
to
snow on the field.
Yeah. So he's actually in Uppsala now.
And how old is the youngest then?
He's turning 13.
13, okay.
So
And how was it for them to do the change from Uppsala to here?
I thought that it would be more difficult for the 2 oldest that were living with us then. But it was the youngest that I thought would just tag
young
along.
and flexible. And
But he's a soccer player, and so he had it was most difficult for him. The others really like it here.
And he lives with the grandparents, I assume, or something like that?
Well, we have a very bit strange. It's kind of complicated right now with that, because Tina, she's working in Östersund.
Yeah.
She's head of the patient security for the region of Jämtland Härjedalen. So she is in Uppsala, in our house there with Anne, our youngest, for a week, and then she's up here for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes I go down there because I have a quite. My schedule is kind of. Sometimes I work quite intense, and then I have long leave. Then I can go down to Uppsala and be with our youngest.
What is it that you do here right now?
I'm a specialist nurse in the ambulance service.
A specialist nurse.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Sweden we have nurses that drives the ambulances.
Yeah.
And the nurses are the ones that can give medication and
and in English you call it a nurse practitioner, so that you're allowed to actually do things that doctors can do. And sometimes as a joke it's being said that it comes with the kindness of a nurse, but it can do what a doctor can do. Well, that was a good way to see it.
It's also like the MUG in our country, I think. The Belgian is like the first responder.
First responder or paramedic.
ID. Yeah. Okay.
So we have quite a lot of education, more than the paramedics have. We do. Yeah. So Sweden is kind of. There isn't that many countries that had nurses in ambulances.
Okay, do their own way.
So it in a few ways it may be better, and in some ways it may be not be better than other systems. So I guess it works. So it's kind of good, but I think we do a better job. But
cool.
Maybe if you ask some other paramedic in another country, they probably think that they do a better job than me. So.
Always, that's the case.
Are you alone in your work? Are you with a team always?
In the ambulance, you work as a team. You have another nurse or what we call ambulanssjukvårdare. It's more like they don't have the right to give medications and stuff.
Okay.
So they are good. They're good with patients and good help.
Yeah.
And you do need to be in the team.
More like assisting.
Because someone has to be in the back with the patient when we drive to hospital, and someone has to hold the steering wheel, drive the car.
And you drive the car?
I do both.
Ah.
So when I work with the nurse, we take turns with
Mm.
patients. So I take the first call and he takes the other. So we drive,
Mm.
both take care of the
But you also
patients.
do like the first aid, I guess, or the first assistance to something that happened.
Yeah, we do. And here in Åre, we have a we call it bedömningsbil in Swedish. It's here it's a single responder.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an ambulance. I work alone, and I'm the first one to take care of the calls that comes in. And we have it here because it's cheaper than having an ambulance, because then you have to pay 2 persons.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And there are so large distances in between the units in Åre.
What is your area that you cover?
Well, mainly it's Åre kommun, and that is it's probably like the area is like the area of a really small country in Europe. So it's
quite wide.
Really, really
How
large.
many kilometers is it from east to west? Would you think?
We cover from the Norwegian border down to Krokom.
Okay.
So it's like 120 kilometers that way, maybe. And then
170 kilometers wide. Yeah. That's
and then it's
intense.
even wider
On the other side.
on the other end. Yeah.
Okay.
But it isn't that many roads here, so
Yeah.
You know the E14 by heart.
yeah, I do. So we cover that. But the problem is it's sparsely populated here.
Yeah.
So we don't, and the ambulance service is funded by taxpayers.
Okay.
And if there isn't that many taxpayers, it's difficult to keep the amount of ambulances that you need.
Yeah.
This our area is larger than the entire Stockholm region,
Okay.
but there are so few people here.
Living here. Yeah, that's a very big difference.
And in the same area in Stockholm region, there are over 100 ambulances. And here we have one.
That's crazy.
But I just yesterday talked to somebody and they said it's 4,500 officially registered people living here.
Yeah, in the Valley of Åre.
Yeah. So it's
and
not that many.
In the Åre community, it's in the entire community.
It's like 10,000 or something.
Yeah, 11, 12,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
But in the wintertime, we multiply it.
Yeah.
So many people, and that's a problem then, or
60,000 it can be in a.
But is it then still doable with one ambulance, or how?
Oh no, in wintertime we get another one.
Okay.
At least at daytime.
Where does that come from then?
Oh well, it's from us.
Okay.
So we are a few people more, and during wintertime.
Yeah. Okay.
To
What does a winter day look like for you when you're working?
When I'm working,
yeah. Let's say a really cool, fun winter day where you do lots of different things. An exciting
the best winter day.
Yeah.
When you get to the work.
The Ragnar winter day.
Yeah. I get to work. I say hi to my colleague. I have great colleagues. We have a terrific boss that is interested in developing the ambulance service here, and I get to be part of that.
Cool.
So I get to work. I meet my colleague. We check our equipment and check the car and see that everything is in place. And we take a cup of coffee and think about how we will spend our day, and then we get the first call. And that's in wintertime. It's usually someone that has fallen in the slopes and fractured a leg or an arm or something like that. That's the most common calls in winter.
And then just to see this logistically, because there's ski patrol as well.
Yeah, there's ski patrol.
So I assume they pick that person up from the mountain, bring it down, and then you come there with the ambulance and you take them to the hospital?
Yeah, we do, exactly. And sometimes we take them to our hospital here or our...
the Hälsocentralen.
Yeah, Hälsocentralen. It's like
health center, basically.
Healthcare center.
Yeah.
It's open daytime.
Yeah.
And during the winter, it's open 7 days a week, but only daytime. So we usually take the easier fractures there, and they kind of take care of them and put plaster on an X-ray and stuff like that. If we are lucky, it's a kind of complicated fracture that you have to help them to remove the boot and maybe reposition the fracture. And
those are all things you're specialized in as well. Yeah.
Move it in place sometimes.
Exactly.
And, nice.
Or maybe our first call or our other call will be an elderly living around Åre somewhere, out in Huså maybe.
Yeah.
Which is a person with health issues that have gotten a bit worse maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
So we get to go out to them and help them, and maybe we can help them in their home, that they don't have to go to hospital, and we can treat them at home, and they can stay at home. That's a great call, because most people here don't want to leave.
But how long does it take you, if your fastest option from here to Huså, or from where the ambulance starts? How fast can you be there?
I can be there in like 20 minutes, maybe.
20 minutes.
Maybe faster.
With the scooter, then you're talking?
No, it's
a car.
It's by ambulance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a quite common call for us.
I can assume. And what if, but this sounds maybe very negative, but what if something really bad is happening, like a heart infarct or something? And is there a way to get there faster? Do you then jump into a helicopter or something? Or is 20 minutes, it is what it is, and you can't do anything about that?
I think we don't have a helicopter station here.
Okay.
Then maybe it would be faster to get to them with the helicopter. We have a helicopter station in Östersund, and which is an ambulance helicopter, but it doesn't have skids.
Okay.
So it has wheels, so it needs a good place to land. So they are kind of dependent on that. Guys like
so you guys
us
can fix it. Yeah.
are on the scene as well, taking the patient from their home to the helicopter.
Yeah.
And then they can fly them to Östersund, and that is a lot faster than we can.
Yeah.
Then we can go with ambulance. So that's the best.
The fastest case scenario.
Yeah. Though it is what it is. We don't have any more units than we have.
Yeah.
So
is it me being naive, or can you not just put skids on the helicopter, and that so you can have both? Or?
Yeah, maybe you could.
And
but they didn't. Yeah, it's all. Everything costs money.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And the helicopter is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
So I guess they had to make compromises.
And how many times a winter are you allowed to fly with that helicopter?
Usually I don't fly with that one.
Okay.
Though a few times every winter I fly with and summer.
Yeah.
I fly with the police helicopter.
Okay.
That does the rescue missions in the
that's
in the
also
mountains.
Cool. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, that's nice. Because that helicopter, that's a great call. I was here in Åre, and there was someone had fallen on the backside of skutan.
Yeah.
And she dropped like 15 meters from a cliff and then tumbled like 100 meters. So it's a potential. It's potentially life-threatening.
Yeah.
And it was too steep for the guys with snowmobiles. They couldn't get to her. So and the police helicopter was here in Åre, and they just called us and said, "We pick you up in 2 minutes."
So you could rope out of the helicopter.
Yeah, I could.
Nice.
I was kind of on what's it called, a wire.
Yeah.
So they winched me down to the patient. I was with one of the helicopter workers, of course, and we could take care of the patient. It was very lucky because she wasn't badly injured. She was really lucky, and then
No, that's good.
that call got very nice.
Yeah, even more fun.
Yeah, it was even more fun. It was
scenery
great.
round.
It was a perfect day with lots of sun and not too much wind. So I was sitting
So
on...
we can call you the James Bond of Åre.
Yeah, of course.
See you coming out, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I wish. It's not that common, but it happens. And sometimes we get to go out in the great Swedish fjällvärld and pick up people that has either injured or maybe gotten sick or something like that.
What is a fjällvärld?
Mountains.
The mountains,
The
okay.
Swedish
just
mountains.
The region.
The vast Swedish mountains. So
Nice, that's a good word.
But that isn't the usual call.
Yeah.
No, it happens sometimes. Yeah, wintertime we get out on the snowmobiles together with the mountain rescuers. They are not healthcare professionals, so they do the rescue mission, and we take care of the injuries and stuff.
But let's say I'm out Jämtland Triangle or something like that in the region, and I break a leg.
Yeah.
I call you then, or
you call 911, and they either they might send the mountain rescue.
Mm-hmm.
They probably will, and maybe we get to go with them
if it's bad enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if I break it, I should break it well, so you can come on a mission.
You should.
Nice.
And you should ask for us.
Yeah,
yes, because then
I
I get to go. Then I get to go. Yeah. Sometimes the injuries are not that bad. It may be a sprained ankle or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they don't think that we need to go. So
I can imagine that's a bit.
So then there's just mountain rescues.
Yeah, because you're only a few, so you need to allocate your resources.
Yeah,
that you're
exactly.
Not, yeah.
But we do work with enhancing our ability to go out in the field, longer out in the field from the roads.
Mm.
So we do want to take more of those calls.
Yeah.
Because also in the ski system here,
Mm-hmm.
with the slopes, if it's in the system, then there are ski patrollers. But if it's outside, they don't. They don't go there.
Then it's you guys,
Then
or the
it's
mountain
us
rescuers.
or the mountain rescue, and
Okay.
so it's a kind of it's not perfect. The system isn't perfect. We need to be better to take care of those kind of injuries ourselves, or
because an avalanche happens. Let's say.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know how many happen here a year, but they do still happen, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they do. They happen, and we don't do the search. We're out together with the searchers, and but our work starts when you find someone, because it's very, very tiresome to dig and search, and we need to be fresh when we get the patient out, so we can do our work.
But you get a call as soon as... And then
we get the call, but we don't have a good system to get out there yet, but we are working on it.
Okay.
So we don't have snowmobiles for ourselves. That we need to find someone that can take us. And
that can be very time consuming, and time is not always
on the
positive.
But we do work on that to get it more, so we can get out there a little bit more than we actually do now.
Yeah, it feels like you should have a snow scooter if you work around this area, right?
So
with all the fjell.
Yeah, we should have it behind
the
our
ambulance,
single responder unit.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan. I will petition for it if you need.
Yeah, thank you.
Signature.
Did you experience any avalanches? Like you actually had to revive somebody?
No,
or?
I haven't done that.
No.
But I have colleagues that have been in that situation.
Yeah, around here or in other parts?
Around here.
Okay.
wintertime, it is quite common with avalanches, though in the ski star system, they are very good at
Bombing.
Controlling it.
They control it and they blast the dangerous slopes. And but it happens every winter quite a lot of times. But there's seldom that anyone gets injured here. Though in Norway, it's very, very common. And in the Alps, there are like hundreds a year that dies.
Yeah.
We also don't have the steepest mountains ever here, which is in our favor, I think, safety-wise.
It is. Because the avalanche doesn't get that long here.
Yeah.
Because it kind of dies out. But it is still, it's dangerous. There was an avalanche up in Tegefjell, Mullfjellet. That was like, I think it was 800 meters wide.
Wow.
And the snow gets so dense in the avalanche.
Concrete powder.
Like concrete, yeah. And slumps that are large as cars. So it's like a moon landscape when you get there. It's difficult to know exactly where you are because it doesn't look like it did the day before. So
yeah, that's intense.
but it's even if it's not that steep here, and if you get caught in one of those, you're in trouble.
For sure.
Yeah.
What happens if it's on the border, like between? We're so close to Norway.
Yeah.
Do you have like contact with the Norwegian?
Yeah, we do. Sometimes we get, if we have a Norwegian citizen injured close to the border, we do the first treatment, and we get to meet the Norwegian ambulance or the ambulance helicopter from Norway, so we can work together with his patient, and they can take him to Norway instead of we taking him to Östersund.
Yeah, okay.
So we do quite a lot of we work together with Norway. Not every day, but
it happens.
It happens, yeah.
What an intense life! Wow.
Yeah, is it intense? Is it like every day full on, or there's some days like you're chilling, playing ping pong, whatever?
Yeah.
No, I say that because I used to work in the summer in the Alps, in the Alp, and I saw the firemen there. They were literally playing ping pong a lot of the times when there was nothing happening because there's no fire and you're a fireman in the Alps. Sometimes you have some time. I'm not saying that it's the standard.
We do play ping pong sometimes.
I see.
Yeah, we do. We do.
That was not so fun.
We don't have as much. In the firemen in Åre don't work full time here.
Yeah, okay.
They have other jobs, and when there is a fire, they are on standby, but they are on their normal job.
Yeah,
and then they get to the fire station and they dress up for the fire department job. Yeah.
For the occasion.
Yeah.
But you're full-time employed.
We're full-time, yeah. And but if we are out on calls all day, it's very likely that there will happen something really bad when we are on another call. So we can't be busy all the time, because then we are not ready to go when something
it's really
happens.
Needed.
So it's a kind of an algorithm for how much we should be busy before we need to have another unit here. It's not. It's kind of.
So that's your boss's job, I guess, or to kind of coordinate everything.
Yeah, it is.
What do you like to do on your downtime? Like, how do you relax?
When I'm at work, or when I'm off work.
Working.
Yeah, then I'm out in the mountains with the dog. We have a German Shepherd that needs to be. It's a mountain shepherd, so he needs to be on the mountain.
Yeah.
And I need to be on the mountain, so we kind of work together, the dog and me. Tina is not that much of a mountaineer.
Okay.
But she likes it too. She's more like, she likes to go up skiing.
Yeah.
But I'm on the mountain all year round because I take care of the dog walk.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can be up a few hours a day.
Wow.
Just with tour skis, or
Yeah, and in the winter tour skis, or I go with my cross country skis, maybe skating with the dog. She's dragging me like that. So.
Did you think about having her with you as a job dog, like how do you call it, rescue dogs or stuff?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I haven't had time to put in all the work that is needed. Now she has grown and matured, so maybe it's possible to do it. I'm not sure that.
Are there any here in the area?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Quite a few, but they need more, so it would be good.
Okay.
I would like to do it, but I'm not sure that I am able to.
It takes a lot of time and dedication.
Yeah, it does. It does. And then she needs to have the right mental.
Yeah, the right dog.
Has to be the right dog as well.
Yeah, exactly. Physically, she never stops. So that would work.
That's a good part, yeah.
Besides the dog walking, do you still do like triathlon or other things?
I do. I do triathlon, and I train do strength training, and I like to run in the summer and paddle and
paddle.
ski,
you mean
like with canoe?
Yeah. Okay.
Kayaking, maybe you say. Paddle is the
tennis sport.
Racket sport.
That's what Tim
no,
likes
I don't
to
do paddle. No.
So it's all outdoors, everything.
Yeah,
mainly.
Aside from the strength training, it's mostly outdoors. Yeah.
So your physical health is covered, basically.
Yeah, I think I'm in quite good shape. Yeah.
And mental health, can I ask how you kind of take care? Because I think your job is really intense, not always in the positive. Like it probably plays on your mind a bit, maybe less here than in Uppsala. But do you have any way to kind of keep your mental health in check? Or
yeah, that's a good question. I think you need to speak to my wife about that, about my mental health, I guess. But since we cover so much, so large areas, there's a lot of time in the ambulance with my colleague without patients. So we speak to each other. We talk about the calls, nice. And I think we kind of manage it quite well in that way. And then, of course, my wife has been in the same field, and I can speak to her about if there's something that I think bothers me about a call that I had. I can speak to her.
Yeah, that's nice. So you always have somebody around you who can understand what you're dealing with. And
it's funny because when I've been on different in Uppsala, the sound that the radio make when you get a call, it's kind of burned into my memory.
Okay.
Some maybe like a PTSD thing that I kind of I can hear it.
Yeah.
And there was another sound in the ambulance service in Stockholm. I can hear that as well. And here I've been for almost 5 years now. I don't really know how it sounds.
Okay.
Our radio. Of course, when it beeps, I know what it means.
Yeah, you recognize it, but it's less of a stress-inducing.
But I don't have it like burned into my memory. Yeah. So I think I'm more stable and more secure in my profession here now when I have gotten older and more experienced.
But also that downtime in the mountains must really help. Like otherwise you're surrounded by buildings and people and sounds and noises and it never stops. And here you can... Yeah, I even feel that I don't do what you do, but just being a mom, let's just say, 2 little kids.
Yeah.
Just the drive to school and just seeing nature and the trees and the mist, like we had this morning. It's always pretty. It's always different.
And I just calm down from driving to school because it's so pretty around, right?
Yeah,
It's just, it really helps to have so much nature around.
And I guess a day of work in Uppsala was also more hectic, or was it a similar vibe to it?
It's a bit more hectic. In the larger city you work in, the more strange calls you get.
Yeah.
Because people that lives in the cities tends to be kind of expects to get help all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, when you live in Kall or in Handel, you know that there is no help for me.
Yeah, you know what you signed up for. Kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. You moved out here or you live here, and you know that to get help, I have to manage on my own for quite some time.
So you're more independent and stronger.
And then you tend to assess yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really need help? Than in the larger cities. And you need help for everything. Like, not everybody, but so the larger city you're in, the more crazy stuff you end up in as a healthcare professional. They want to have immediate help with something that has bothered him for like 6 months, and they need it now, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's a bit what my sister said when it was COVID. She's a doctor in Belgium, and when it was COVID, suddenly people had to call her if something was really bad, if they needed her, but they weren't allowed to see her in person unless it was very much needed. No calls whatsoever.
No.
So suddenly people are like, "Oh, is this really bad? Do I really need a doctor?" And like you say, self-assessment is so important. And I guess if you live in a city, it's like, oh yeah, there are, like you say, 100 ambulances.
Yeah.
Somebody will come help me. What's happening? How can I help? It's a very different way to look at it.
And you have a shorter distance from the patient to the hospital.
Yeah.
So you have there's very little time to plan your mission when you drive to the patient if you live in a large city. So you have just a few minutes before you're with the patient, and then you have a few minutes to get to the hospital. So everything is kind of sped up, and you don't get time to assess the patient, and you maybe you start to treat them, but you don't really know if the treatment worked because you're at the hospital already and drops them off.
Yeah.
And that is kind of, you can get burned out by working in that way. And here in Åre, you have time to think before you meet the patient. There's often like 20 minutes until you're with the patient. And it takes like more than an hour to go from Åre to Östersund, the hospital. So you really assess the patient and start treating and thinking about, is it necessary to go to Östersund? Can we solve the problem here? So we tend to give more time to the patient, and I can assess my treatment and reassess and think about, maybe I should, maybe this isn't working, maybe I need to change my strategy, and it's much more fun to do what I do here than
sounds really cool.
in a big city.
Yeah, it sounds more like problem solving, and you get the time to solve the puzzle instead of you having to go super fast.
Yeah, exactly. But the downside is that if you really, if it's a bad situation, you don't get help that easy. Because in Stockholm or in Uppsala, you get colleagues coming within minutes.
Yeah.
Here it's hours, maybe sometimes.
Yeah. So you work as a team here. You have a group of people.
Yeah, we do. In the ambulance, you always work in a pair. And when you're on the single responder unit, you work quite close to other units. Maybe not physically, but on the radio, and you tend to get help from each other and advice. And when I get, sometimes I take the patient when I'm alone. I take them to the healthcare station here in Åre. So that is also a team that I work with, both with the ambulance, but with the single responder.
Yeah, so the whole system.
So we are, it's a great group to work with. They're very good at what they do, and so if they are good, I get to be better at what I do. So you really help each other to give the patient the best care that we can do.
Yeah,
we can
nice. Cool. Something different. Do you have like a personal mission or goal you are working on at the moment? Like say the near future, you might have somewhere or something you want to achieve or want to go to.
Yeah. Well, right now we live in Tegefjäll because we have kids in Duveskola. But when the kids are out of school, I think we will live in our cabin in
Huså.
In Huså.
Ah, yeah, you still have the cabin. Nice.
We have that, and I'm remodeling it to be more suited for two person to live there full time. So maybe me and my wife will end up there, and the kids will come visit eventually. But I can see it happen maybe in a couple of years.
So I guess then you see yourself still living here in like 10 years or something.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And do you have any crazy bucket list dreams? You know, something you can think of that you say, well, if money, time, it all wasn't an issue, but I really want to do that. Like,
yeah, I'd like to qualify for the World Championships in Kona. And go to Hawaii and do the Ironman.
The Ironman.
Yeah, and I would like to do it the same year as my wife. So that would be great. We could do it together.
That's a very
I don't
cool
think
dream.
it would happen. Maybe
but don't think that. I think it should be a goal, and it's awesome.
It is possible, but I need to do this for quite a few years before the competition has dropped off.
Yeah.
So I'm in great shape for my age, but there are a lot of men in my age that are in great shape.
Yeah.
But
that's good news, though.
If I keep doing this for like 10 years more, I think that my chances are better. But I need to stay on top of my ability to be able to go there. For Tina, it's easier.
Why?
The competition is not that strong on the female side.
Okay. So the women are weaker. No, kidding.
No, there are more men.
Yeah, there's more men
do
doing
the
it.
Ironman, and it's a quite egoistic sport.
Yeah,
that you do it for yourself. You're not in a team, and it's quite expensive with all the gear. And men tend to like the gear more than women.
I also think they need to do some rebranding. The Iron Woman. Why is it so called Iron Man only?
Yeah, but you could, female is spelled FEMALE.
Yeah.
That FE is iron, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Far-fetched, but I like it. Yeah.
So it's already done.
Yeah, it's already done. Okay.
But there are some very, very good female athletes, absolutely, and the best females they all beat me. So
go ladies. Nice.
So since you know the area quite well, like I would say, thanks to your job and also because you're in the mountains that much, is there a place or an experience that you would recommend anybody to go to live here? That may.
Yeah. My recommendation is that you leave the house.
You leave the house.
Yeah. You can. it's so accessible here.
Mhm.
The mountains are so accessible. You just need to open the door and leave.
Yeah.
And you're up in like 20 minutes. You're up above the tree level, and you get all the views. And so leave the house and start explore. That's my advice. And there are so many beautiful places around here. You don't have to pick the ones that are the most famous ones.
No.
Because you can take any peak, and it will be beautiful, and it will be another view than what you saw before, and hopefully you might even be alone there. So
there's a big chance here in the region. That's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah.
So I think the best thing you can do is just put on your shoes. And
I think that's great advice. Put on your shoes and go.
Yeah.
Nice.
In summertime, you can do lots of other things. Then you can go kayaking or stand-up paddle or swimming or biking or hiking. So there are so many things you can do.
Yeah, but is there one thing that pops into your mind, like stands out, or not really?
No, not really. I like to do short trips on my own with my dog. I really like time alone.
Yeah.
I know that I did the same kind of trips when I was a boy, and I didn't want my mother and father to know where I went. I wanted to. It was important that no one knew where I was, and that kind of. Now I know it's stupid that no one knows where I am. So I'm more
definitely from your perspective of a medical.
Yeah, so I'm more. I'm telling others where I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, but I need to be by myself.
Yeah.
I feel quite connected to that because I was the same as a kid, and I'm still doing that sometimes. I just go somewhere, and I prefer actually that nobody knows where I am.
Which I never like, but yes.
No.
But it's interesting.
You need your solo missions, and it makes you very happy. And
it's great.
Yeah.
I also like it, but I less need it or something. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a different.
But the fact that he touched on that you want nobody to know is kind of resonates with me. It's interesting. Like I feel that same. Like a boyish, you could just go into the woods and just explore. Be by yourself, and nobody knows where I am. And then you come back home and you're back in your world, and that's been a little adventure or something.
Yeah.
That's
and that takes me to places that I shouldn't go otherwise.
Exactly,
because no one has pointed out that on the map that you should go there. Yeah. I just end up there.
Okay,
and sometimes it's crap.
It's very recognizable. Very true.
Sometimes it's crap.
Yeah,
sometimes it's fantastic. Maybe you find a small stream with a place you can take a bath, and nobody knows that you're there.
A lot of times, also because you go through the crap, you end up somewhere that is actually really nice and beautiful. And if you wouldn't have gone through the bad part, you might not see the nice things. So
it's a wisdom for life.
Yeah, I guess it's a life lesson.
Yeah, it is. So me and my wife, we were very different in that way. If I'm going out with her, we need to have a start and a stop, a goal for the trip.
The plan.
And we don't take detours. We're going to she's very, very on target.
Yeah, a plan.
Yeah.
Well, and in general, I think we ladies like to have a plan.
Yeah.
Tim also likes to do the thing where he just likes to not use a trail and just go wild through the bushes and whacking it. And then we follow because, we do like him. This happened in Norway recently. And then we have our 5-year-old whose head is at the same height of the bushes.
Yeah.
And so I have to put him on my back. We're like, why is Dad doing this? Yeah, because Dad likes this. And we're getting somewhere cool. We're doing this. And then we follow him. I more prefer the trails in general. But hey, everybody is saying, you do take us to cool places, I must say. So it is worth it. It's not my style, but I tag along when it's possible.
Yeah, that sounds like us.
Nice.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, is there anything you still want to share? Where people can follow your crazy adventures? I don't think you're on
the social media, are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm on Instagram.
You are on Instagram.
Yeah.
I couldn't find you. We're not friends yet, so we need to change
We're
that.
not. Okay, okay. There's a lot of photos and small videos with my doggy. Because when I'm out with my wife, I don't record her that much because she don't like it.
Yeah.
And but I have an Instagram that is my own. It's my name, Fredrik Arenstig. And me and my wife have an Instagram
Account together.
that is more like our training for Ironman and stuff
cool.
like that. It's called Fredrik Arenstig.
Okay, nice.
But right now there's not that much content on Fredrik Arenstig because Tina broke her collarbone here, and we are not training for any event right now. So,
but soon we can follow your journey to Hawaii.
yeah, sure.
Nice.
I'm not sure that it will happen, but we'll see.
Well, if you need a supporter, I'll be there on the sideline.
Thanks.
Definitely. One rapid fire fun to end things: skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
He's actually wearing a t-shirt with "Damn, it feels good to be a skier." So
skier,
I saw that one coming. Yeah. Nice t-shirt. Morning person or evening person?
I'm more of a morning person now than I was before. I think I'm getting old, so I'm tired in the evening.
You grow into a morning person. I like that. Maybe we'll get there one day, Tim. Who knows?
Yeah, I have kids, and I have a dog, and I have a wife. so I need to get up and start working. Yeah.
Sauna or hot tub?
Hot tub.
Hiking or biking?
Hiking.
Well, there you go. That's it. That's all. Thank you very much for today, Fredrik.
Well, thank you for having me.
It was really nice.
Really good talk. Thanks.
What a stories, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we could keep talking for another 2 hours, but you have so much to tell.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.